We are back here live at GDC, the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. I'm joined by yet another Visual Studio Team Services member, Ed. Ed, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm glad to be here at GDC. Beautiful San Francisco. It's wonderful.
It is. The rain, the clouds, it reminds me of home in Seattle, Washington. I love
and
it.
for me in Cambridge, UK.
There you go. So it's really awesome because I was actually just on your podcast.
You were.
Talking about Git.
Talking about Git.
And we're going to talk about Git.
We're going to talk about Git. That's all I ever talk about.
That's all you
Git.
ever talk about.
That's all I ever need to talk about.
Exactly. And I was really surprised. I was telling some people, I'm on this Git podcast. I'm like, how do you have a podcast all about Git?
All about Git.
Yeah, so maybe pitch your Git podcast first. Why not? Get the Git out there.
Yeah, so I've got a podcast. It's called All Things Git. It's
all
about
things Git.
All things Git, as the title might suggest.
Yeah.
But I mean, really it's more about software development and of course about how people collaborate and build programs and processes with teams.
Yeah.
But of course, focused on Git still. And thanks for joining me. It was a great podcast, one of my favorites.
Good, awesome, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm always talking. And today, specifically, you're going to be joining me for not only this, but another half an hour after this. You're going to be Ed and James all day here.
That's right.
And what we want to talk about now is really large scale type applications. When you're using Git, the complexities around it. Often I'm just making small projects, an app here, an app there, but I've built games. I've built games for the Xbox, and you can get really large, ginormous games, in fact. And one of the cool things is recently Windows was moved over to Git,
right?
Which is the world's, I think, largest code base.
The world's largest Git repo,
Git repo, okay. At least, yeah, we don't know 100%, but it's out there.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about something brand new, which is called, I wrote it down so I don't say it wrong. It is Gvfs, the Git Virtual File System.
Yeah, that's right. The
That's
Git
correct.
Virtual File System.
What is that, and why does anyone care?
Right. So the Git Virtual File System is a tool that we built to allow Windows to move to Git.
Got it.
So that's how we know that Windows is the largest Git repo, because we had to build this to make it happen.
Why did we have to build it? Why?
Well,
Why?
Well, okay, so let's back up a little bit. If we look at the way that Microsoft built software 5 years ago,
Okay.
we had a bunch of different technologies throughout the company, not just for version control, but especially for version control. We had our own version control system called Source Depot. It's this centralized version control system, and we built it to allow us to scale to the Windows code base and to the Office code base, to these really giant code bases that we have at Microsoft. So we use that. We use Team Foundation version control, which is a really similar product, also a centralized version control system. And we basically took what we learned from Source Depot and put it in TFVC, and we decided to sell it to customers.
Got it, okay.
And then we had some Git repositories throughout the company. Visual Studio Team Services, we actually were in a Git repository. But we looked at this.
And maybe first, hold on, before we get too forward.
Yeah.
So what are the differences here between this centralized and TFVC, Team Foundation version control,
right,
and Git? What are the main differences? For someone maybe brand new to version control 101.
Wow, yeah, so if you're brand new to version control, the idea of TFVC or Source Depot is that it's a centralized version control system. Everything is on the server.
Okay.
This central server, maybe it's in Azure, as it is for Visual Studio Team Services. Maybe it's hosted in your data center, on premises, as it is for Team Foundation server.
Okay.
So the nice thing about centralized version control is that the server does a lot of the work for you. So if you're just hacking on some code and you say, hey server, what am I doing? The server knows.
Yeah.
So if you're dealing with a code base the size of Windows, so the source code, just what you need to build Windows is 350 gigabytes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't
incredible.
So I could maybe clone it once.
Right.
And that's it, on my 512 SSD.
That's right, that's exactly right.
It's very large.
It is very large. And so the nice thing about a centralized version control system is that you can say, server, I'm going to start editing this file, and the server will remember.
Oh, okay.
And so if you run TF status or whatever, if you want to understand what you're doing, instead of going through the entire 350 gigabytes looking at everything that's changed, you can just ask the server, hey server, what am I doing?
Got it.
And it knows, it's all cached and fast.
Magic server stuff.
Yeah. So a distributed version control system like Git has a lot of other advantages, but fundamentally, you've got an entire copy of the repository on your machine.
Yeah.
When you want to run Git status, it crawls your file system looking to see what's changed. And so neither one of those things are good when you're dealing with something the size of Windows.
The larger and larger your game becomes, your services, the repo,
right.
The more code, the more complex, the longer it's going to take.
The longer it's going to take.
Unless you start just throwing all the RAM in the machine, just all the RAM.
All the RAM, and all the hard drive.
Recommendation always is get all the RAM and all the hard drive.
All of the RAM.
All of the RAM. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a great recommendation.
Always, all the RAM.
Right. Unfortunately, there's a limited amount in the world.
Yes.
We couldn't buy it all at Microsoft. We tried.
So then what was the rationale then for the Windows team to move to Git, and then what were the complexities there?
Right, yeah, that's a great question. So we looked around Microsoft and we realized we had at least 3 different version control systems. We had Source Depot, we had TFVC, we had Git. But we also had a lot of different build systems. We had a lot of different planning systems for tracking our work. And we realized that having different ones was complex. If you wanted to move teams, like maybe you got tired of hacking on what you're hacking on and you decide you want to go work on the VSTS team, which I think you should. I think you should come over. And if you did, you might not be able to carry over all of those skills with you if you were using a different version control system.
Even though you're in the same company, you got to relearn everything. So it's like starting a new job.
That's right. And that's not cool because we want people to have mobility throughout the company. We also want to be able to attract the best talent from outside the company. And Git is, so this survey came out the other day, Stack Overflow's development survey. 90% of software developers use Git. 90%. So we had to be able to support Git within Microsoft to attract the best talent from outside of Microsoft.
Makes sense, especially on a team probably as large as Windows, attracting new developers. You know, hey, this is how the whole thing is built. This is how VSTS is built. This is how Windows is built. It's how we build software.
It's how we build software.
And it's nice because you document it once, everyone's using it, and you can kind of go on and productivity. It also makes the tools better, I would assume.
Absolutely.
If everyone is using our own tools, and you probably want to dog food other tools too. Make sure that hey, we're still competitive.
That's right.
You don't want to be too in there, but so because how Git works, a new member comes on, they got to download 350 gigs, and then that's not okay.
That's not okay.
So that's where the move to Git kind of had some hard parts then, I'd assume.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that where the Gvfs came from?
That's where Gvfs comes from.
Okay, got it.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, we tried a couple of other things. So we thought about maybe trying to figure out how we could split up the Windows repository into a lot of smaller repositories.
Sure. I'm working on the settings page.
That's right.
I want that to be
I've got Notepad in my own little repository, and I don't have to worry about Xbox, because the Windows repository is 350 gigabytes because it's just everything.
Yeah.
It's client stuff, it's the drivers, it's Xbox, it's Windows Server, it's everything in a big old repository. So we thought about how we could split that up, but how do you split up 350 gigabytes? 351 gigabyte repositories?
And not lose the history and understand everything around it.
Yeah. We decided it wasn't going to work. Because 351 gigabyte repositories is still terrible for a lot of reasons. A 1 gigabyte repository is terrible. B, you got 350 of them.
Yeah, correct.
All terrible.
All terrible.
So we looked at some other options, and what we finally decided was we wanted Windows in one repository, and we had to figure out how to get there, and that's where Gvfs does come in. Gvfs fundamentally makes it so that you don't have to download that 350 gigabytes.
Okay.
So when you run git clone, so you don't run git clone anymore, now you run Gvfs clone.
Okay, so this is a separate new product. Does it live inside of Git? Because I'm used to installing Git, command line, doing my thing, Git status, Git whatever, Git clone, give it.
So right now it's its own thing.
Okay.
The only real change that you make is you run Gvfs clone.
Okay.
After that, you keep working with Git like you normally do. You run Git status, you run, Git pull, all that good stuff. But Gvfs clone will set up your environment. It'll get the Gvfs sort of bits configured and everything, and then you're good to go. So what it's actually doing is, instead of cloning everything, all 350 gigabytes, it only gets the information about the commits. So it gets the history, but not all the files that have been in them. So Git's a distributed version control system.
Yes.
When I run git clone, I get a copy of the repository.
Yeah.
All of the history, all of the files that have ever been committed.
Which is really bad when someone then accidentally puts in 100 meg or 500 meg binary, now it's there forever.
Now
And then
it's
you
there
gotta rewrite history, and it gets, maybe we start over, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which has happened to me a few times.
A few times, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about other ways we can sort that problem out
Yeah.
next. But yeah, so the Windows repository, 350 gigabytes, and that's just a tip, right? That's not like the history.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to clone all the history too, it would,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, it's its whole other thing.
Yeah, so we tried it. We put Git into, we put Windows into a Git repository. We ran git clone, and we waited.
You waited.
And waited.
Weeks, months,
Yeah,
years.
I don't know, because the server just dropped the connection after a day.
Yeah.
A day! We didn't have it
Yeah.
done. So we decided we needed to do something else. So when you run Gvfs clone, it just downloads the information about the commits and about the most recent, the directory structure, the file system structure of the most recent commit.
Okay.
So it doesn't get all the data. And here's the really insane bit about Gvfs, and the Windows team worked with us on this because they needed this solved.
Because
So
I'm
that was-
imagining that I still want to go into that folder.
Yeah.
And I want to see the files.
And
or
edit them.
open a solution. Like, how does that work then? If they're not, are they there? They're dummy. I mean, how's it
They're
work?
not there at all.
Okay.
So we got the file system structure, and so the Windows team built this really cool system. So there's a kernel component, and then there's like a user mode file system component.
Okay.
And that's what Gvfs really is. That's the Git virtual file system. That's the file system part of the name. So if you run dir, you see the files. If you run Notepad, what happens is this Gvfs layer actually goes and downloads that object from the server.
Oh, got it.
So you don't actually get the data until you open it. The idea is, if you're building Notepad, you don't care about Xbox.
Yeah.
So you don't need most of that 350 gigabytes. You just need this little tiny bit. And so that gets loaded on demand as you open it.
Got it.
And so we got clones down to about 4 to 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from
That's pretty great.
24 hours and
From
then
never
failing.
finishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So 4 to 5 minutes, you can clone the repository, but again, you just don't get all the data, and then it just gets paged in on demand.
Got it. So is this a Git virtual file system? Is it something that's open source? Does it work everywhere? Like, I'm a developer. I'm starting my next new game, or I have a game today and I have a Git repository. Do I have to start from scratch from it? Does it integrate with Git today? Like, I'm thinking, hey, I got these huge projects that do take 5-10 minutes to clone because they're huge.
Yeah.
They're several hundred megs.
Right.
If I didn't start with Git virtual file system, can I still use Git virtual file system? How does that work?
Actually, that's the really cool part. Gvfs itself is really in two components, but the most important part is the client side.
Okay.
It's that file system layer and the sort of changes that we've made to Git to make that happen. So if you've got a repository and it's sitting in VSTS, yeah, no problem. You can Gvfs clone it. You could still Git clone it. They can interoperate. If you run Git clone, you'll get the whole thing.
Got it.
If you run Gvfs clone, you'll just get that sparse version of it.
And that's nice because a lot of times, even I think as a game developer, I just had Dimitri on talking about VSTS and that, hey, you're building more than just a game. You may be building functions for serverless compute. You're building a marketing website. You might be building developer tools. When I was making, I was building games for Xbox 360. We were building the game. I built a particle tool. We had a game editor. We built tons of internal tools. We had our own bug tracking system. We built all these desktop apps, right? This was a decade ago, okay?
Right, when you did that.
You know, when I did that, yeah. I mean, and honestly, it got re-released on Xbox One, so I can say I released a game on the Xbox One.
Awesome.
It was a thing that I did, that somebody put it there, that's great. But back in the day, we didn't have these tools, so every time a new developer came on our small team, it was this whole process. But me, game developer James, I don't care about this level editor that I'm never working on.
Right, exactly.
So I want to go in, and it's in Git, I want to Gvfs clone, and I could, as a developer, then benefit.
That's right.
Already today.
Already today.
Yeah,
Already
I think that's the important part. Is like, this thing's cool, but how do I, developer working on the game, benefit from it?
That's right. That's right. And well, I mean, I do say already today, but there are some caveats there.
Okay, hit me.
So It's Windows only right now.
Okay.
Right, we built this for the Windows team with the Windows team.
Yeah.
Because
there's actual Windows stuff happening.
Yeah. It really needed changes in the kernel and a user mode file system driver. I mean, it's cool stuff, but it's new, right?
Yeah.
This is innovative stuff. So in the roadmap is Mac and Linux support.
Oh, cool.
We just announced the prototype of Mac support, so we've been hacking on it. We've got a plan.
I like that.
We're really happy about it.
As long as you got a plan,
We've
it's
got a
basically
plan.
halfway done.
Yeah, exactly. Because the Office team is the next team to onboard, and they've got like a proper, Mac OS version. They've got an iOS version, so they need Gvfs for the Mac.
Got it.
So that's the next platform we're hitting. After that, Linux. We're really excited about that. But yeah, so right now it's Windows only. So that is an important caveat. But you don't need to use VSTS with it, right? So there is a server-side component.
Okay.
When I do that page in, when I edit my first file, it goes and downloads it from the server.
Yeah.
So we built that into VSTS. We've been working with our industry partners because we don't want this to be a proprietary closed thing. Yeah. So Bitbucket
that was one
supports
important
it.
part, right? Was if I'm running VSTS, I might connect to GitHub, to Bitbucket, to my own Git server that's sitting under my couch.
Absolutely.
That's where I think all my Git servers should live.
Under your
right?
couch?
Yeah. So when our friend's dog comes over, they snuggle up with the server.
You got to stay warm.
Friends, gotta make friends.
That's
gotta
right.
Stay warm.
Yeah.
It's already warm enough. The dog's like, it's cold outside, Seattle.
Yeah.
So no matter where my code lives,
right,
it could work with it.
Well, so
How's
right now,
that work?
Bitbucket has adopted Gvfs. They've made an extension available.
Nice.
GitHub has announced Gvfs support. It's not.
Nice.
They haven't shipped it yet, but it's coming. So we're really excited to make sure that this is an open partnership because we think this is the next technology to support Git for really large repositories.
Yeah.
And the next step is Gvfs is all open source.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So the next step for us is bringing that all back into Git itself because I don't want to have to run Gvfs clone.
Two tools, this and that,
Yeah, so we want to bring this back to Git. So we've started bringing those changes back to the Git core community. They're being reviewed. But it was important for us to go build it first so that we knew it worked because we didn't want to, propose some ideas and have people argue about whether it worked or not. We wanted to actually bring a solution.
Sure.
So we're really happy about that. But that will be coming to, we hope, to Git over the next, as it gets code reviewed, right?
Yeah.
It's in the code review process now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if I'm just a game dev or a new game dev, what if I just have a small project? Are there still benefits there of using it, or how do you see it? Do you want it to be just everybody uses it by default, or what do you think?
No, I don't want that.
Okay.
Actually. I don't think it's because there is a little bit of latency, right? You've got to go hit the server to download your files.
Yeah. What are the trade-offs? I should say. I guess would be there,
So that's a big one. Is you've got to be connected.
Yeah.
So the first time I hit that file, I've got to go get it over the network.
Got
So that's
it.
kind of a bummer.
So if I'm on an airplane on beautiful go-go internet,
Yes.
probably not pulling down a gig.
Not ideal.
Files.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you give up the ability to work completely offline.
I see. It kind of reminds me of now in OneDrive, when I just got this machine, I went to the store and they got a new machine. They're like, just put everything on OneDrive. So I did. And there was an option to say virtual thing, and I go, that sounds great.
Uh-huh.
And it synced my 100 gigs synced in a matter of a minute.
Right. And it looked like they were there on the file system.
Yes.
And
But
they weren't.
They're not, because when you double tap on it, it's like, I'm going to go download that.
Uh-huh.
So is that using the same underlying technology? Do we see it as a integration points for other apps?
That is exactly the same technology.
Ah, okay.
So once the Windows team and the VSTS team had built Gvfs, the OneDrive team was like, that's incredible. Can we do the same thing? And so they're actually relying on the same components.
Oh, very cool. So we're actually now sharing code between the different teams here.
That's right.
To optimize. I thought it was really cool because to me not only as a developer, I want it to be on my machine as fast as possible, but I can't tell you how many times I've just cloned a repo and I'm like, I gotta go, now I have someone else, I gotta go do something else.
That's right.
But I had to wait for it to finish cloning, for me to do something else. Maybe I'll never touch that code.
Exactly.
And I just kind of want it to be there. Just like, hey, I've presented hundreds of times and I have 500 PowerPoint presentations. But I only need the one for next week.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how does someone get it? Is it on my machine already? Like when I install Git? Like, is that a magical installer? Does it work on Windows 7?
It does not work on Windows 7. So because the Windows team needed to make changes to the kernel, it works on, I forget the number, but one of the Windows 10 creator updates, you know?
Whatever, I have the latest.
You have the latest, you've got it.
1709, some magical number.
Right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know these numbers, so you're a step ahead of me. All I know is one of the creators updates has it.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's in Windows 10. So you do need Windows 10 right now. So you do have that, and then you need to download Gvfs. You can get that at gvfs.io.
Okay.
That's the website for it. So that is a separate install, and you need Git. You need a particular version of Git actually, because again, we don't have all of those changes back to the open source Git.
I see.
The Git proper, the Git that you get when you install Git for Windows.
Got it. So when I install Gvfs, is it going to install the proper Git that I need?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Yeah.
So it'll handle all the stuff for me as a
take care of
developer.
it. That's right.
And can I have multiple then Gits on my machine, or as a developer, do I care?
Yeah, I don't think you care.
Okay.
So the only difference between the Git that we give you with Gvfs and the normal Git for Windows that you download is Gvfs.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you're not removing any functionality. You're only adding the Gvfs functionality.
So if I'm working in a big code base, no matter where my code starts to live, I should check it out essentially. What's the threshold, do you think? Like if I'm a developer thinking about using Gvfs, what's the threshold, do you think?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I need to come up with some better guidance here.
Okay.
Because I don't have a good answer for you offhand. Because fundamentally, like I said, we built this for Windows, and we're only now starting to think about like sort of broader applications.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to get into a place where we were happy with it, and we are. So I've actually just started talking to customers about it, and we're seeing a ton of people who are interested because a ton of people have giant code bases, and they're stuck in some legacy, for lack of a better word, version control system, and they're not like super happy with it. They're looking at the same things that we are, that 90% of developers are using Git, that people coming out of college only know Git.
Yeah.
And they don't want to have to teach people something that was built in the 80s that has, weird semantics, and nobody benefits from that.
Yeah, and also a lot of times even on some of those projects, like when I'm building mobile apps, we have like an art folder, and that art folder is just tons of art not used in the app, but it's our designers that use Git kind of for their own version control.
For sure.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, and that totally happens. And right now you can use, if you're using art, you could use one of the extensions like Git LFS, which is the large file support for Git.
Okay.
And that's cool, but it has its own set of problems. And in many ways, Gvfs doesn't really replace it, but it could streamline a lot of those scenarios. And so I'm really excited about Gvfs for games.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of one of the next big things as far as Gvfs.
Yeah, and especially when like you said, you're building these very complex games with art assets, with models, with back-end services, with website, and everything like you said, like Windows lives in one Git repository, and that's just the way it is.
It's the way it is.
Could be multiple, but maybe it's just one.
Yeah, a lot of people benefit from, we call them mono repos, giant monolithic repositories.
It's a monkey repo.
Yeah,
got it.
That's right.
Mono, Spanish for monkey. Right. Just make sure everyone knows that.
That's right.
Also Latin for one. But yes.
That's right.
Yes. I come from the Xamarin team, so you know that we're all about the monkeys. So.
Mono and the monkeys, yeah.
So okay, different question. Let me branch out a little bit here. So I today am in no source control or in not Git.
Okay.
How do I get there? But I don't want to, because that's the thing, is Windows was not in Git.
Windows was not.
So as a developer, and this isn't even Gvfs anymore, but I want to start using I have this huge, is there a migration path? Is there an easy button? Tell me there's an easy button, Ed.
There's an easy button.
Ish. Okay.
Yeah, like everything, there are trade-offs with it.
Yeah.
So VSTS has the ability to import a Team Foundation version control repository into Git. That TFVC is our existing centralized version control system.
Got it.
And so we make it pretty easy to migrate into Git. It's like a one-click button. If you've got your TFVC code in Visual Studio Team Services, boom, got a Git repository. But what we don't do is we don't bring history with you when you do that. And here's why.
Okay, hit me.
So TFVC is just a fundamentally different model to Git. It branches differently. Instead of when you create a Git branch, it branches the entire repository.
Yep.
When you create a TFVC branch, it branches a folder within the repository.
Got it.
And so trying to match up this history is like really crazy.
It's impossible,
difficult.
basically.
It's actually impossible. Yeah.
Because they're fundamentally different.
They are. There is no translation that actually makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can fudge it, and there are a lot of programs that do. There's a program called Git TFS. There's a Git SVN. There's a Git P4.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of tools that will help you migrate from whatever legacy version control system you're using into Git.
Got it.
But I mean, they all have the same trade-off. They're changing history as you migrate it.
Yeah.
And that's not something that we really support, to be honest with you. That's not something I want to advocate for.
Yeah.
I think your history should be your history. It should show you what you actually changed.
Got it.
Because when a lawyer comes knocking on your door as a developer and says, hey, tell me where this line of code came from because we're getting sued over it, and you say, oh, well, I can't. What I can tell you is that we automatically migrated it from our old system and then we turned it off.
No good.
That lawyer's not happy.
Yeah. So essentially what you've done, what I could do is if I do the migration path, I'm going to still leave that old server around. Think of it as almost a fork of it. I forked it and now this is our new snapshot in time.
That's right.
We're good to go from here. There's a big new initial commit of 350 gigs from Windows.
That's right.
And did someone actually do that initial Windows commit? Here's all of Windows. I just coded that up over the weekend. No big deal.
Yeah, no problem.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it was you.
It's a guy named Dave.
Dave
gets a lot he gets for all 350 gigabytes. No, we
Dave, you're crushing it. That's what I
right.
would
He's
say.
awesome. No, but what Dave actually did is he wrote a tool, kind of like Git TFS, that took source depot.
Okay.
Because we were going to just check it out and then check it in. But we've got all these branches, and we needed to migrate all the branches over. So we didn't bring history with us when we did the migration, but we did bring all our feature branches because we've got a ton of stuff going on at any one time, right? So we couldn't just lock everything down and be like, okay, no more development for a while. We'll just create a new branching structure. I don't know, over the weekend. Yeah, it's not going to work. So we did build some tools to migrate really the branching structure, but not the history.
Got it.
And we thought that was a good trade-off.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So today, if I'm an existing developer, big team, big project, I can at least take a look at Git virtual file system, install it, check it out. If I'm not in Git, there are some migration paths, especially if you're using VSTS or TFS, I assume.
Yes, that's right. On-prem.
So if you're on-prem or not on-prem, tools exist in both. To kind of start looking at how I can make not only just my developers' lives a little bit better on a day-to-day basis, not clone 350 jigs, but also kind of get some of those benefits of that virtual file system.
That's
Very
right.
cool. Awesome. Yeah. Ed, thank you so much for coming on. You're going to be back in about 15 minutes talking about, guess what? More Git.
More Git.
Go figure. Ed, all about Git. So stay tuned for more here at GDC Live.